Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're talking about a revolution. And no, definitely not the kind with pitchforks. I mean a personal revolution, one that literally happens right in your living room every single evening. We're going to go over some really simple, proven tips to help you completely take back your evenings from work stress so you can actually recharge. Look, if you've ever felt like your workday just kind of never ends, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's get into it.
I want you to take a quick second and just check in with yourself. Are you still working when you should be resting? I mean, do you struggle to leave your job at the office? You know the feeling, right? You're sitting on the couch physically at home, but mentally, you're running through tomorrow's to-do list. Or maybe you're even hiding your work laptop out of sight just so you can sneak a quick peek at your inbox. Well, this explainer is basically a survival guide for that. We're going to show you exactly how to fiercely protect your off-the-clock hours.
First things first, we really need to draw a hard boundary here. Think about it. Your paid work hours, those belong to your employer. They're totally governed by stress, by strict deadlines, and by achievement metrics. But your evenings? No way. Those belong to you, your family, your friends, your hobbies. Your personal time is not just some waiting room for your next work shift. It is yours to spend entirely at your own discretion. And yes, for the record, doing absolutely nothing is a highly valid and actually productive use of that time.
Okay, so here's our playbook for today. First, we'll talk about reclaiming your free time. Second, what exactly is Salutogenic Leisure? Third, some great tips for social connection. Fourth, tips for cozy nights in. And finally, the art of deceleration. All right, jumping right into section 1, reclaim your free time. We absolutely have to start here. Because look, when you bring tasks home, you're destroying the vital boundary between your job and your personal life, and your brain basically never gets the signal to power down. So, here's tip number 1. Your leisure time belongs to you, not your employer. You've got to stop checking those emails after hours. Whether you want to head out to a local community meeting, maybe watch a fun TV movie, have a good laugh with your family, or enjoy any sort of entertainment at your own discretion, that time is strictly for your well-being. When you're off the clock, you are off the clock, period. Moving on to section 2, what is salutogenic leisure? Okay, I know salutogenic leisure sounds like a super clinical public health term, but let's just translate it into plain English so you can actually use it tonight. Basically, it refers to activities that actively build up your emotional and social health, but without triggering stress or messing up your sleep. A good evening is supposed to recharge your internal batteries, right? So doom scrolling through stressful news or firing off late-night work emails, that completely drains the battery and ruins the physiological sleep architecture your body desperately needs to recover. You can really think of the ideal evening as having two simple jobs, kind of like a balanced scale. On one side, your evening needs to give you high-value emotional rewards. We're talking things that bring you joy, connection, maybe a sense of serenity. And then on the other side, it absolutely must allow your nervous system to slowly wind down. You really need both of those elements to truly recover from a long workday. Let's dive into section 3, tips for social connection. So, spending time with family and friends, it isn't just fun, it literally acts as a biological shield against a really hard workday. And that brings us to tip number 2. When you build strong social ties, your brain actually releases oxytocin. This hormone is incredible because it directly counteracts the downstream biological damage that's caused by daytime work stress. Hanging out with people you actually like is quite literally a biological necessity for healing your body. Plus, it's way cheaper than booking a spa retreat. Here are a few really simple tips you can add to your social menu. The good news? You don't have to plan massive, exhausting events. It could just be grabbing a relaxed drink, like a glass of wine or maybe a nice non-alcoholic beverage, where the whole goal is just deep conversation. Or you could host a really intimate, slow-paced dinner party that's just focused on sharing food and storytelling. How about a stroll on the boardwalk or through a park? It clears the mind without spiking your cortisol levels. Even a structured board game or card night works perfectly because it's low stress and naturally generates plenty of laughs. The key takeaway here is low stress connection. Next up, section 4, tips for cozy nights in. Honestly, sometimes you just want to stay home and do absolutely nothing, which, as we've said, is a highly productive use of your free time. For those cozy nights in, the primary goal is just maximizing your serenity. You want to gently guide your body into a rest and digest mode. Now, scientists call this the parasympathetic state, but really, it just means telling your nervous system that the workday is officially over. Easing your brain into this calm state is honestly the ultimate prep for getting a great night's sleep. Let's look at some simple comfort tips for your evening. Maybe think about trading those bright, glaring screens for a living room listening session. Dim the lights and just share a complete music album or a great audiobook with your family. Or you could always go for a classic comfort movie night paired with some caffeine-free tea like chamomile or rooibos. You might also want to try a warm bath or maybe just a quick 10-minute stretching ritual to physically release all that muscular tension you built up sitting at your desk all afternoon. Just remember, these activities are entirely at your discretion, strictly for your own personal entertainment and tension release. Oh, and I absolutely have to mention this brilliant concept called parallel relaxation. It's defined as enjoying the comfort of shared presence without the pressure to entertain. This simply means being in the same cozy room with your partner or your family members, but doing your own quiet hobbies, reading, sketching, journaling, whatever you like. You get all the amazing emotional rewards of social connection, but completely without the exhausting pressure of having to be a host or a witty conversationalist. It is wonderfully restorative. Trust me on this one.
And that brings us to section 5, the art of deceleration. We really need to completely rethink how we measure the success of our free time. Because look, if you're treating your evenings like just another to-do list, you're doing it wrong. The Salutogenic principle tells us that true healthy leisure is about intentional deceleration. Think about it. During the day, we're constantly measured by what we achieve and how fast we work. But when we're off the clock, we absolutely must step away from those achievement-oriented metrics. Your leisure time is not a performance review, it is for you.
So, to quickly summarize our tips today, intentionally slow down. Step away from the hustle, hang out with family, watch a movie, or honestly just do nothing at all. Fully protect your sleep window. Because when you protect that firm boundary between your job and your life, you are fully recharging your emotional stock, which ultimately makes you a happier, much healthier person. All right, I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Work is over. So how will you spend your time tonight? Are you going to give away your unpaid hours to workplace anxiety, or will you actively choose joy, connection, and rest? I say, close the laptop. The rest of the day belongs to you. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.